Hi Pisces. How you doing? I thought you could use a little outside time, little sunshine, maybe hearing the birds chirp and stuff will lessen a bit of your stress. So Neptune is going to go retrograde in a couple of weeks. And if you've been thinking, yeah, I know, where's my reading? Well, there's just so much that you're sick of that you have not addressed. Pisces denial is one of the more convoluted. And escapism is looming. Oh, you want to so bad. And yet, you know you have a couple of weeks before you can really escape into that fantasy realm where everything that's bothering you that you are not addressing is somehow miraculously solved, only to wake up from Neptune retrograde feeling even more mired in the muck. Let's not do that. Let's instead, Knight of Pentacles. So those of you who have been struggling with, let's say, monetary issues, struggling with how to make room in the family, how to make room in the house, how to make room for more money to come into the bank account, you find that it's been going very slow and it's frustrating. Now, it's not that June will go any faster, and it's not that Gemini season makes it any easier, but it does help you talk about it before the retrograde starts. And that's important. As much as you can vocalize now is good. It puts you on top. But only by addressing that which you have been denying. So when you deny something, sorry, I thought I'd get comfortable and then everything went haywire. If you're wondering about the sweatshirt, it's my design. It's actually my birth chart. You can have one too if you are coming to a satsang in LA, in the Bay, or in New York. All right, whatever you are able to see past your denial into during Gemini season will help you with the retrograde. If you don't look at what is not working before the retrograde starts, it will become very hard to tell when you're winning and when your mind is playing tricks on you. And then that will give people the reason they need to discredit you or in some way disqualify your opinion. The Judgment card here is about you realizing where you're in the Eight of Swords energy, Seven of Wands, overcoming it just by the nature of mutable air, just dealing with it. Yes, okay, I am upset about this or that. Yes, I don't like this. Or no, I think we need more room. Or no, I think this person should move out. Or no, I don't think we should spend money on this or that. Or no, I think I'm going to have to take my career in a completely different direction than what you're advising me. I feel hedged in by this or that. I feel cramped. I feel trapped. You say it, and you should say it, and you need to say it. And when you say it, bottom of the deck, we're not going to pick up this card, but we're not going to pick up any of these cards, but when you say it, it's not the easiest thing for the people around you to hear, which is why you've been in denial anyway, because you knew when you communicated it, it would be a problem. Fine. Let's keep going. I'm going to try to get comfortable again. Let's see how it goes this time. Oh, it's really nice out here. The sun is quite strong, but it's good. Daily dose of vitamin D. All right. So, all things considered, Knight of Pentacles with the Eight of Swords there is also about you feeling caged in by an earth sign. Oh, are you finally bored, Pisces? It took you long enough. Let's see. Let's keep going. Okay, we didn't want those cards, but those cards wanted us. So, Queen of Pentacles, 9 of Swords, 5 of Swords. Yeah. So they seem to be growing in their power as the retrograde sets in, if you don't have a firm grasp on when your mind is telling you the truth. So again, these next couple of weeks become critical to your understanding, so you're on the same page, the two fish, about what it is that you think and feel before the confusion sets in and other people who won't be as affected by it gain an upper hand with you, because you can tell that their logic seems sound compared to your own. It's easy to give up your power right now, Pisces, in June, and I think you have to be really careful, because when you do have so many grievances, it makes you weak, and not addressing them makes you even weaker, and then addressing them all at once can make you even weaker and more fragile. So you have to do this. I understand the 9 of Swords. You have to do this in a way that is still good for you, still good to you. It feels like that earth energy, whether it's material goods that you need, a job, something like that, or if it's a person, it seems like they grow in power as the month progresses. That need grows, whatever it is. Knight of Cups, 3 of Wands, 3 of Cups. The Hermit and the Sun, 7 of Pentacles and 4 of Cups. Okay. So a lot of you that are dealing with earth signs are really feeling that you have put a lot in, and yet you just don't know why things keep going in the wrong direction. It's hard to explain why all the roads are leading back to self-destruction when there is so much good luck around. How am I not able to grasp any of it? So let's look one more time here before we look at them together. Knight of Cups and 3 of Wands is a new direction that you want to take, whether it's your relationship, where you live, what you do for a living, your hobbies that you need to turn into more because money is just not coming in the way you want. There's some change here that's coming, either material, like Saturnian energy, job related, money related, or having to do with an earth sign, and it's a change that you don't want. But you have to see the good in that change, because you're not happy either. So sometimes Pisces can forget that their happiness is somehow supposed to factor into the equation. They can just leave themselves out. And Gemini season's not going to let you do that. So 3 of Cups and then the Hermit. If you're dealing with a Virgo, I think it's becoming pretty obvious that they have some sort of an addiction issue. And that is becoming clearer by the day to you. The Sun and the 7 of Pentacles. The Leo figure is someone who is investing a lot in you, thinking of you, loving you, and somehow you are either missing this opportunity, it's right in front of you and you're not seeing it, or you're just so broken up about what's happened in the past that you're unable to receive it the way it's being offered. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of trying to stick to what hurt you in the past that may not even exist anymore. This is what Neptune retrograde brings. And one of the only ways, here goes me trying to get comfortable again. I don't even know why I sit like that to start off. I think it's the looks. The look is good. But this is hella comfortable. So I think really what it is that Pisces is prone, bottom of the deck, to this 2 of Swords energy, especially when it comes to Scorpios, especially when it comes to a Scorpio that you might have been like hella miserable with, and it was the best thing that ever happened in the world for that thing to end. But it's just the kind of thing that Pisces would like to remember during a Neptune retrograde in Cancer season, like the water signs are all going to be losing their shit, and you have a chance to be captain of the crazy if you want, but that means that you need to work through your stuff enough to be the life of the chaos party when it comes around, or else it might drag you. And I think you have a sense of that already, which is why the Pisceans have been very quiet about their reading. They're like, no, we're good. We're good. Oh, yeah, it's coming. Cool. We believe you. Yeah, it's when you don't speak up about stuff, whether you love people or because you need them or because you know they need you, you do yourself a great disservice. And when that builds up over time, you have moments like the next 2 weeks coming up. And the extended will look far into Cancer season, just so you don't feel like your next reading is too late. But we'll deal extensively with the retrograde, because all of this to me just looks like prep. Prep to make sure that the ghosts of the past don't haunt you through Cancer season. And the best way to ensure that they don't haunt you is to use Gemini analysis to cut the fat. And there's a lot of people here who need to be told, and that may not necessarily be cutting the fat, but if they want to cut themselves out once they know the truth, great. That's okay. So, really, what a beautiful day. It's, I'm glad I waited. You guys deserve this color, this peace, this beauty, this soundtrack. Speaking of which, that sounds like someone on a motorcycle. There's a lot of people riding in this. I'm literally waving to a prop plane. What is it called? The 2-propeller plane. I'm a dork. Okay, so that was exciting for me. I love those old-timey planes where they can see you and they can, like, it's cool, man. All right, Pisces, those are your cards. It's, let me put it this way. The second part of the reading, you get your, like, chill vibe here. And the second part of the reading, when you get to look at the cards, you're really going to get the impact of what I'm looking at. And you'll know it yourself. You're intuitive enough to be like, ah, yeah, okay. One fish is identifying here, one fish is identifying there. And the, oh my God. Ugh. Get off. Oh.
Hi Pisces. I'm so glad I waited to do your reading, because I just watched it back, and I have to say, out of all the readings that have been done so far, I feel like it's visually the prettiest, but the soundtrack with the birds in the back is perfect. You know, it's a romantic fairy tale like time for your Piscean heart, but it's just important to point out where you stand to do yourself a disservice by romanticizing things that are toxic. And the two ways that Pisces can do that is by romanticizing a current issue that really needs to be addressed, even if it seems pretty small. It doesn't have to be the end of the world. But the more you create these like pillow soft euphemisms around something that really needs to be confronted, the more toxic you make it, therefore facilitating these judgment moments. Nobody wants to have the judgment moment, right? Nobody wants to get worked up to the point where they end up there. But if something is happening in your environment, especially your home environment, that's making you feel cagey, and you don't say anything, that's when it starts to become something toxic. So one way that Pisceans do invite toxicity into their lives is by not addressing, I was going to say confronting, but no, but by not addressing very small things that become large over time. Why do they become large over time? because it is symptomatic of Pisces' ability to neglect the self, right? When we're neglecting, the self, even very small things will accumulate into very painful situations. So that's one way that Pisceans do it. And of course, the whole time you're trying to be helpful by just not making a big deal out of something. And I think it takes you a while, just as people, to figure out where that line is. The other way that you can invite toxicity into your life, especially right now, as we've talked about ad nauseum already, is this Neptune retrograde. You like to think of things from the past, be it your own position in terms of work or career, reminiscing about that, be it an old relationship that you absolutely for certain know is not the move, inviting somebody new into your life that is reminiscent of this past situation that you are just somehow trying to relive, and not even because you would like some catharsis, but just so you can escape. Escapism runs rampant. Escapism from the small trifles, small trials and tribulations that turn into toxic, painful things. Escapism by not saying anything until it's almost too late, and then you end up looking like the bad guy, right? Or escapism in terms of taking something from the past that you full well know was terribly painful and turning it into something that now seems like it was, your shining light, which, as soon as the retrograde is over, you're not going to feel this way anymore. But I will say this, if you would like to do both of these things and write about them or paint about them or go do some other creative work with that muck, it'll turn into gold. It will turn into gold and pay you great dividends if you can keep focus on the abundance being shown to you. See here? The abundance is before you, but your mind is on other things. Now, don't discount that aside from these two, and this one I didn't mention because it goes without saying, the other way in which you escape is by allowing yourself certain indulgences. The thing that we talked about, Pisces like to sleep a lot. They often have a sweet tooth or some vice that they find hilarious that they have, and they just, it's just an accepted, like, yes, of course, I have a vice. So that is your everyday escapism. Just be careful that doesn't take on a life of its own this month. Now, in the extended, like I talked about in the Aquarius extended, look at this. Under every bottom of the deck card, the Scorpio card is there, just lurking. Lurking, bro. Like, it's so funny. What are they doing? Well, look at that in the extended. They're so shady. Now, for some of you, you may be saying to yourself, yeah, but I'm already here. I already feel like I won. I already said what I needed to say. Okay, great. A lot of you do tend to be very fast. Great. You're trying to get it all in there before the retrograde. I get it. So you're like, well, what if I already feel good about stuff and I'm going into this retrograde? This, I hate to say it, but the past is going to pull you regardless. Your tendency to gone with the wind everything is going to pull you into a weird place regardless. So when you wake up in that weird space, just realize that weird space turns to magic as soon as you make it creative. Remember, Pisces, you're the end. You're the end of the zodiac. You take the dark and you turn it back to light. You go into the dark, 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 dark that no one can or will survive. You are the subconscious of the zodiac. You are asked now to go retrograde into the subconscious of the zodiac. And from whatever you find there, come back and draw some cave paintings or something. Do you understand, Pisces? It is a deeply spiritual time. If we were back in the old times, some time ago, millions, thousands, other planet, off-world, wherever, you guys would be going through a deep shamanistic trial for the next few weeks. You would be sequestered away in your caves, away from the mere mortals. And you would be doing great dream work, important dream work for the tribe, for the people, for the safety of the inhabitants of your tribe, whatever. And so now, just because you gotta get up and do stuff and, go get milk from the store or whatever, doesn't mean that you still don't have that coding. That's how your light came through and imprinted on your genetics when you were born, and you have this in you. And this is one of those times in your life that as a Pisces, it will call to you. And yes, I understand that you are expected to have a normal life, and that is very frustrating, but don't forget you sit across from Virgo because the hermit goes searching for truth in the dark with a lamp across from you. And the Pisces is the dark that it is searching in. So don't mistake it for just the Nine of Swords. It's a lot more than that, and a lot of times you remember that. This coming up period here, you might start to forget. So yeah, to you the video seems late. To me, this is when you're really going to listen, and this is when you need it. Okay, wait, did I tell you that I love you? I really do. I identify most closely with your role in life. I feel very deeply how much of a labor of love it is for Pisces to live this life. And I respect it. Okay, I'll see you in a minute in the extended. By now, you must know, you must have watched at least the rising or the sun. And you know that we're putting up numbers. National Suicide Prevention Hotline here in the US. A couple of you have gone above and beyond and provided numbers for other countries. Please continue to do so in the comments section. Any numbers you think would be relevant, any numbers you think would help out our community and give us the resources we need to stay connected, to stay sane, to stay healthy, and to feel like there's somebody out there at all times who is willing and able and enthusiastic about listening to you. Because there are a lot of people who are more than happy to take the time to hear what you have to say and genuinely care about how you feel in this life. Of course, you have the Rev Fam, you have all of us, and we too genuinely care. But the fact that these resources are out there, and if you feel in any way, bad that way, there are people who are just waiting to, have a conversation. All you got to do is say, you don't have to say anything to them. You can talk about nothing. You can talk about basketball. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Right? It's all about fostering connections. So, please add your numbers below, whatever you think is pertinent and relevant and helpful for the Rev Fam. One more time. Who loves you? Who loves you? We do. I do. I'll see you in a second.